I'm so extremely thrilled that Hush Hush Biz today are speaking to someone that is leading in the sports field and female driven. And Sarah Jones, welcome first up. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. I got to tell you, when I started reading all your stuff, it just made me feel so like overwhelmed with, everything you've been doing over the last couple decades. You know,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, how thrilling, you have, sort of with, with everything that you've done. And today we want to obviously cover that. Um, you know, and you're doing exciting things as well, which we're going to obviously speak about that too, because you've got a new season launch on Foxtel with Kayo Sports. Um, so, but first up, Sarah, tell us, how did it all begin for you? And
Well, the very beginning was me as a 6-year-old watching the Seoul Olympics with my mum. We grew up in Echuca on the Murray River. And I was kind of captivated for the 2 weeks watching the Olympics every day. And I remember mum sitting there with me and saying, that's what you should do when you grow up. You love sport, you love talking, you love writing. I think you should be a sports broadcaster. And looking back now, I think it was such a profound memory for lots of reasons. I mean, to begin with, 6-year-olds don't really know what they want to do in life. Many 60-year-olds don't know what they want to do in life. So,
no, no.
from that moment on, that was what I was going to do. The fact that mum could see something in me that thought I would enjoy it and perhaps be good at it, even though I was only 6, and that there weren't any women doing that then. So she kind of envisaged a future for me that didn't exist in 1988 when we were having that moment. And then also, mum was killed in a car accident 2 years after those Olympic Games. So it's like a really really powerful memory I have of her and a really vivid memory. But I like to think that she kind of still shaped, even though she wasn't here, she still shaped the direction of my life and my career. So from that moment on, wanted to be a reporter. Would write articles that our local Echuca paper would kindly publish for me to like build my portfolio. Moved to Melbourne when I finished high school and went to university and studied journalism, which, to be honest, in the scheme of things, didn't wasn't all that helpful, but it was a stepping stone I felt I needed to do. And then was lucky enough to get a job at Fox Footy as a teenager, as a production assistant, and then have just gradually over the years worked my way up to doing what I'm doing now. So this is my 24th season at Fox Footy.
Oh,
So
oh,
it's been a long journey, lots of ups and downs, some, times of frustration where I had to wait to be given opportunities, but some also incredible times where I've just had to pinch myself and go, wow, I can't believe I'm living this, the childhood dream literally coming true.
oh, it is a childhood dream. It is sort of like a pinch yourself moments, of, especially from a 6-year-old.
Mm.
And your mum, um, which yeah, spiritually, she must be with you all the time. And
Yeah.
you
And
saw
it's really
it.
lovely because my two, so I'm one of five. My two sisters are both nurses, which is what my mum was. So it kind of feels like there's some, like, real parallels in shaping us as adults.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's thrilling. But also, I've read that Jack Jones, you're the granddaughter of Jack Jones as
Yes.
well, who
Yep.
was in Essendon. Yeah,
Yes. So
AFL,
so
was
my
it?
dad's dad played in 7 grand finals in 6 years after World War II. He came back from serving in Papua New Guinea and basically was recruited straight to the Bombers and had a really amazingly successful career. He was in a wonderful era for the Bombers. And then later in life, once he retired from work, he kind of found his way back to the football club as a bit of an elder statesman. And he was very loved and revered by the Bombers. They've named the cafe out at Tullamarine the Jack Jones Cafe. So he definitely inspired and fostered my love of footy from a really young age. So to see it very much feels part of the family and part of
Oh,
my DNA.
it is part of you. You're carrying the torch. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
that's thrilling in itself to have, just all that history behind that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, um,
And Pop loved watching me on TV more than anyone. So
oh, but it
he
did.
lived to be 95. He had a wonderful life. He and my nan, who passed away this year, last year, she was 98. So I was really lucky to have such a long time with my grandparents, and both really shaped, who I am today. And Pop was definitely my number one fan.
That's beautiful. And I mean, you're a mother of two children as well.
Yeah, two girls, they keep me busy, Miller and Hallie, and they love their footy. They don't play. They love playing netball's their number one sport, which I also love. But they enjoy watching the football and going to the football and following it all. And Miller in particular is very knowledgeable about what's going on in the AFL. And in fact, she wants to be the CEO of the AFL one day, she
Oh,
tells
good.
me, which I'm like, you go, girl. So I could see her doing it. Like that's the thing now. You can kind of dream big as a young girl growing up.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely. The bigger the dream, you should have, I say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, no. Oh, that's incredible. You know, with obviously in the duration of all this time of being in this business, which is so male dominated, have there been challenges that you have faced in those times?
I think there was definitely a period where across the board in Australia, sports media, women weren't given the opportunities that we are today. That was probably 15 years ago. There weren't many women in pivotal roles in television, but thankfully that's changed and changed quite dramatically. So that was a little period of frustration because at that point I didn't have kids and I could very much throw myself wholeheartedly into my career and I felt ready for something more. But it was hard to imagine a world in which I could push past the blokes. So that was challenging, but thankfully those opportunities did come. And then I suppose now it's navigating the challenge of, being a working mum. Um, and, like all the dads at work have that as well. I mean, I don't think it's exclusive to mums. Everyone's juggling family life. But I think across our commentary team, my situation is, different. I'm with the girls all the time. I'm, the number one caregiver essentially, but then I'm also juggling my career. So, my husband's really supportive and we work as a team, but that's definitely the biggest challenge being, fit and ready for on air while racing around like a crazy person from, netball training to tennis training to school pickups and all those kinds of things. And just the mental load of remembering, Hallie's got swimming today and Miller needs a new netball and, all those things.
Oh yeah, that's parenting, you know,
Yes.
not just your work career. Oh, it's
Yeah,
struggling.
it's remembering everything and not dropping any balls.
Oh well, I'm sure you are doing a brilliant job. You look like someone that's very organized, and
I am
and
very organized. That is a handy skill to have, I think, for busy people to be organized.
I think so. Yeah, the old saying, give something of a
To a
task
busy
to the
person. Yep.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
they know how to
Absolutely.
juggle it. It's, their
Yes.
mindsets that way. Which obviously, for preparation for when you are going live to air or on, sort of broadcasting, or even when you're emceeing, how do you, sort of manage all that as well, Sarah?
Um, so a lot of it is I just kind of live and breathe footy. So I've got the sports radio on all the time. I'm listening. If I go for a run, I've got the earpods in and I'm listening to press conferences or podcasts and I'm naturally watching the games and all the shows. So a lot of it is just knowledge by osmosis and reading everything there is to be read. But there is a, period where you're also analysing some of the stats that our stats team sends through, chatting to producers, etc. So, I try to devote a bit of time early in the week. Thursday night footy comes round really quickly. Like you do need to be organised by Wednesday. And if I've done a game on Sunday, you kind of Monday, I like to get back organised and thinking ahead because otherwise Thursday can really creep up on you. The weekend comes very early. So I like to kind of be organized and have all my prep ready to go. I was always quite a good studier at school. Not so much in terms of volume, but I always knew what I needed to study. And I feel like now with footy, I'm in a good place of going, okay, well, for my job, I need to know that and that, maybe not so much focus on that and kind of streamline it a bit.
Okay, that's amazing, amazing. So, what's a good day and a bad day? It's look like in the
At
ethics.
work
Yeah,
or life.
yeah.
um, So a good day at work is like a broadcast where the chemistry of the on-air team is just really flying. Everyone's up and about. Everyone's got energy. The game is really good and engaging. Something maybe controversial or topical or interesting or captivating happens, and we kind of can really sink our teeth into it. And you kind of come off air going, "Wow, that was fun."
Mm,
I suppose a bad day at work would be if the game isn't that good, if for whatever reason we're falling flat, and you're not feeling like you're really nailing it. But to be honest, that doesn't happen very often at all because we just all love our job so much and we love the game. And I think even the games that aren't spectacular, there's always something to talk about. And you've got to remember that the fans of those teams are so heavily invested even if their team is playing poorly. So, there's always something to be able to attach yourself to.
yeah. Oh, fantastic. So, um, tell us about the obviously the new show coming on Fox
Yeah.
Footy.
This is a huge year for Fox Footy and Kayo Sports because we have the ability to call all 9 games ourselves. So we'll have what we think is the best commentators in the business calling all the action and putting our branding and imprint on it, which will be really powerful. And then on Saturdays, the only place to watch footy live in Victoria and Tasmania all season is on Fox Footy. So if you're a footy fan, you simply have to have KO to be able to watch it, which will be fabulous. I think, our coverage is unrivaled. We've got the best experts, we've got the best team, a great production team behind the camera. And yeah, I think it's really exciting. I think footy fans won't know themselves. I think they'll just love having people like Jared Waitley and Anthony Hudson calling together on a Friday night, Mark Howard and Matt Hill on a Thursday. I think it's just going to really elevate the viewing experience.
Oh, wow. Who is your team? Is it, you know?
So my team is the Bombers because of Pop,
Oh,
and we've been
yeah.
quite success starved for a very long time, which in some ways makes my job easier because come finals time we generally aren't playing, so it's quite easy to be unbiased. But yeah, like generally you want to see people do well. So on any given day, there's different teams playing and
Mm.
um, that you want to see do well. But essentially, the Bombers for me are my heart and soul, and I'd like to see them, win a premiership one day before my career ends.
Well, keep that dream alive too.
Yes, I might have to work for a very long time.
You never know. You never know. What do you have any tips in terms of, for what's coming ahead for any of the teams or who do you
I think, which probably isn't the most popular selection given they don't have the biggest fan base. My daughter Miller is a Giants fan, strangely. The Bombers are a second team. I think GWS Giants will win the Premiership this year. I think they've had some heartbreak in the last couple of years of close finals losses. I think they've got a great team. They're really well coached. And yeah, they're my tip for the flag this year. But it is a marathon. Like the AFL season is a really long season.
yeah.
And you can win the first 10 and then lose the next 10. Like anything can happen. There's so many fluctuations. So
Mm.
whoever's leading the way in May most likely, won't be able to sustain that all the way to September. So you got to pace yourself.
Yeah, but very, very true. Very true. Okay, what advice would you give to a young girl trying to break into this industry?
Yeah, good question. I think to have patience and not be in a mad rush. I think today's generation are used to just everything happening instantly, and that's just the way society is. You want to watch a television show. Back in our day, you'd have to go to like Blockbuster Video and check if the VHS was there and wait for it. And so I think we kind of learnt patience. If you're waiting at the doctor's surgery, you just sit there and wait. Whereas now we're on our phones, and
Right.
so I think everyone expects things to happen really quickly. And
Mm.
in this industry, you need to have some experience and some runs on the board and some credibility. And so that can't necessarily happen quickly. So I think not being in a mad rush and just being prepared to do the hard yards and earn your stripes, get the respect of the people you work with, and eventually good things will come if you work hard. But, I don't think anyone, young girls or young boys for that matter, can walk into a job and expect to, be calling games
Yeah.
in their second year. You've got to get the runs on the board, and I think that's true. It's just tricky because people that we are all guilty of it. I'm on my phone all the time, and I'm very easily bored. Patience is good too.
Yeah. Very good advice, Sarah. Thank you. Now, I believe you're a book lover and that's your
Yes,
pastime. Now,
yes.
what are you reading? What do you recommend?
Great question. I need to just 1 second.
Yeah.
What's it called? There we go. The Last Twilight in Paris by Pam Jenoff is what I'm reading. I've had a really bad reading week. I've been busy, and so I've barely picked it up. I love historical fiction.
Yeah.
I try to read a book a week, which
Oh,
in footy season can be a bit challenging
yeah.
when my best tally was a couple of years ago. I did 62 for a year, and I'm not quite sure how I managed that many, to be honest.
I can't either.
Reading a lot on holidays, I think, was the key. But I love Trent Dalton's work. I love Frederick
Yeah.
Backman and the Beartown series. Some
Yeah.
other good ones. I get Demon Copperhead last year was a really good one. I loved.
Oh,
I love Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club series and his new book that's coming out. Historical fiction writers. I love Fiona McIntosh, Aussie writer, and also Natasha Lester, who's another Aussie writer doing great things. So yeah, I am a bookworm. I love it. It's my, like, in a busy, rushed life, it is the only time I sit still.
wow. I'm just so impressed with that list.
Ah,
That is incredible. That could be your other career, I reckon, if you ever leave.
yeah, I know. I feel
Oh,
there's something out there for me in the book sphere. I'm yet to work out what it is. People say I should write a book, but
I think
I think
so.
I'm
I
I
was
think
just
I'm
about
more
to
a
say
reader
that.
than a writer, but we'll see
Oh no, I think you're that will be in your destiny for sure. I think we'll have to have a Sarah Jones biography.
at
So,
some
'cause,
point. Oh, that'd be
yeah,
so boring.
no, no, it won't. No, it won't. That's on your mindset. On the other side, it would be amazing to read. So, on
Oh,
that
thank you.
note,
That's lovely.
yeah, again, it's just been so amazing talking to you, and we look forward to seeing you on the Foxtel.
Oh,
Um,
thank you very
yeah,
much. Yes, looking
Kayo
forward to a really
Sports.
big season. Lovely
Yeah.
to meet you.
Oh, lovely to meet you, and have a wonderful year. And go Essendon. I hope
Yes,
they
go Bombers.
win at one stage for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Bye.